What's up, garage people? I finally got some lights. Now I can start shooting some videos here in the garage. And I'm starting to work on some of the detail things. I'm gonna be doing backsplash soon. I've gotta get my audio system completed. I've gotta wire up the cabinet over here on the left for all my camera gear and chargers and things like that. So I've got some work to do there. But today I'm gonna work on installing my vise. You know, I don't use a vise very often, but if I am going to use one, I want it to be nice. And it really doesn't get any more OG spec than this guy. So this is a custom made, we have these done in blue anodized instead of orange, but this is from the Orange Vise company in California. I think they're machined in California, in the US. We buy them 10 or 15 at a time, so we have them in the OG store. Rather than being with the orange anodization, I buy them in blue. And I'm gonna just do a quick install here today. I took out all of my 1/2-inch fittings because I need to take this drawer out in order to drill through. But you know, once you figure out the position of your vise, it should be pretty simple to do. What's going on here? The install process is really rather basic. I'm going to drill some holes through here and call it a day. So first thing we do is used I think it's like a 7mm or 8mm Allen to loosen up the base, and then we just lift up the vise, set it aside, and what I want to do is position this centered on my keyhole. Now, a vise theoretically should be set up to where it's close enough to the edge to when you turn it that really you could hold things. God dang it! That you can put things all the way down. I don't know if I like that idea. I'd have to put this all the way out here to the edge. I can't think of any time when I've really had to put something. See, if you think about it, now I could take a pipe, and you know, this vise isn't particularly functional from left to right because the jaws aren't super large. So I like the idea of pushing it back into position here, since usually I'm just using this to hold onto a car part or something like that. And I know all you real men are gonna lose your crap here that I'm doing it this way, but this is just the way. This is the way I set it up at OGHQ, and it's functioned actually quite well doing it this way. But I think setting it up like this makes a bit more sense. So I'm going to position the vise where I've got comfortable gap between my handle and my hand. So I think pushing it back is going to make a little bit more sense. And then that way when I turn it, because it's going to sit in this position most of the time. And what I want, I want this in line with the keyhole, which would center it on this cabinet. So I'm right-handed, and so technically I should have the vise on the right-hand side. So I am doing that correctly. But I think that this position here gives me room between my speaker to work. You know, obviously I have tons of room over here to the left. And so this should afford me the ability to do whatever I need to do with the vise here. In this garage, the function of this will be minimal, you know, working on different house projects, things like that, have a vise just so I can come and throw some tools in if I needed to. All right, so let's position this in the center. I'm gonna kind of eyeball it. Let me get a ruler here just so I can. I think I have a ruler. Yeah, I do. So let's just get this centered up. Doing this largely by eye. Looks pretty good. Now we'll fix this here. So that's roughly the position. So let's just put some tape in case it moves. So that's roughly where I want it. Take the vise off. Set that aside. And then let's get this thing positioned. Now, let's get it straight. So I'm gonna go 9 millimeter or 9 centimeters off the edge. There we go, that's good. Okay, our center position looks good. That looks spot on. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do tap some holes here. So I think I'm gonna drill a little pilot, a little tiny little pilot to start. I guess I can't do a tiny one because these won't reach. I think this will be better to do it this way than with a marker. Get this in a little closer. I really need to get a screen for this new Canon C70. You don't need to see my face. Let's do it this way. I'm just gonna mark this here with this bit. I don't think this smaller one's gonna reach. Let's see. Let's do it the way I was originally planning. Get one shot of this as a really big, really expensive countertop. Don't want to have extra holes. Okay. That one's not centered. Dang it, I moved. 9 and 9. And what I'll do, I'll just make these holes a little bigger than our hardware, that way I can position it. Two. Okay. So the hardware we're going to use. So there's our holes. This one needs to be off to the right a little bit because I messed it up. So I hope I have, shoot. I hope I have a bigger, I know I have a couple of bigger bits in here. So here's the hardware we're going to use, some stainless hex bolts. And that's too big. Or is it? I think it's a little large. This is a 1/2 inch. I think 3/8 might be a little small. I don't remember the size of this hardware. See, I think if we do 1/2 inch holes, then that'll give me some leeway, because this hardware, the head of these fits in pretty snugly. Well, there's a little bit of play. Let's drill the holes 3/8 And then let's see if we need to go bigger. Get one shot at this. Drilling a hole in my giant countertop. Now we have to go through metal. Number one, let's man up here. I don't know why I'm using this little guy. I've got the real deal right here. Probably make sure our hardware goes through, and it does. Okay. Through this hole here, which was relatively center. And then this one I needed to go over a little bit to the right. Okay, let's get a vacuum. Okay, so now let's see how badly this hole is off. Should be good. Okay, so what I've got, these are 3-inch, I believe, 3-inch bolts. Crap, I should have gotten the size. Is there number 4? I think it's a number 4. Sorry, I pulled these out of my drawer. I had these from the last install at HQ. I had to buy like a 10 pack or something like that. So I should probably have saved the size for you, but I'm not a good friend. That means that one of these is going to be a little bit off. Okay, then I got it started, so now I'll be able to just knock it in there. It's only because that one pilot hole I did was a little bit off. Just use this little baby hammer. Okay, the rest will pull in. I don't want to beat up my... I didn't need to take any of this crap out of the drawer. I could have just left it alone. So I don't have the right size washers, but I did a couple of washers here, just using what I had in the cabinet. So I'm gonna take these two, and then take my stainless nut. I don't have quite enough to grab. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just get this started just to pull it into place. There we go. Nice and straight. Tighten that down. Let's see, what size is that? Not every, I think they're 1/2 inch. 9/16. So I'm about to start organizing all this stuff with tool grid. I'll probably get some Kaizen foam for some other things. The combination of all kinds of organization is going to be key. That's it, bros. That's our whole install. All right, let me just put this back. It's out of the way. Clean up this metal and we'll wrap it up here. So that was the way to go. 3/8 inch bit. I didn't need to do a 1/2 inch. So I did a pilot 13/64. Be smarter if you do a better job than I did of getting it aligned in the center. That way we won't have to ratchet it in, but we turned out okay. Take our vise. Put it into position. And we got it. And then these just screw into position, and I just screw them by hand. And then if I'm ever working on something, then I'll tighten it down, and that way I can turn the vise from left to right. All right, pretty simple install. I'll leave it undone, if you will, so that way I can move it around when I need to. So I'll leave it not tightened down so I can twist it into position, but it'll sit here like this, nice and pretty most of the time. And then I'll use one of these little guys. We got these little quick release thingies. This is a 6mm, and so I can tighten down or loosen down rather easily. And actually, since it's sitting here, I might as well tighten it down. So that's the Orange Vise, $1,000. I know you're crapping your pants. I mean, a really high-end Wilton or a York is similarly priced, if not a lot more. Granted, this is a lot prettier, and so there's going to be an awkward period, just like my countertops, an awkward period of really pretty and then kind of scratched up, and then that's the awkward period, and then you have the patina as it gets beaten up and the corners aren't all square anymore, and you bang some stuff on the edge of the vise. That's going to be part of the deal as it gets used. But I think that this anodized aluminum finish will hold up well. And again, I think if you're shaping metal and you're doing some really sophisticated stuff in your garage, garage. I should be the opposite, sophisticated. Doing some real man stuff in the garage just probably isn't the right vice. But for someone like me, it's perfect. It looks pretty because 99% of the time it's just sitting here. But when I do need a vise, I've got something to put something in. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And yeah, vise is set up in the garage. See you soon. Stay tuned for more updates on this garage as we get it all set up.